Folks, we've got a trifecta of NFL games to preview for you here at Bookmaker. Don't forget, check your smartphone anytime, anywhere for current updated odds. It's free and easy to open up an account. Simply check out bookmaker.eu. Fellas, let's go early, middle, late. Let's go with Carolina at Atlanta. Falcons, it's sitting on a key number at Bookmaker, laying 7. The total on the game is 47.5. Let's just start with, is this a tad inflated based on the quick start by the Falcons?
Well, it's always going to be overinflated when a team plays so well, and the Falcons are the flavor of the week now. But going out west, coming home in a regional rivalry game with revenge for Carolina, there's factors to like the Panthers.
Atlanta handled this team twice last year, but Carolina's had a couple extra days to stew on that embarrassing performance against the Giants. I expect them to be much more focused and in tune with what this offense wants to do.
Atlanta's been outgained by their opponents to start the season despite being 3-0. But a lot of those yards are coming in garbage time. The Falcons come out of the gate flying, then shut it down and start burning some clock. If they ever get involved in a close game, you would think up-tempo the whole game could be a lot of points.
Yeah, when they need to, you're right, because when they get the lead, Mike Smith seems to take the air out of the ball and run the game, run the clock, keep the game going. Their defense looked awfully good against Denver, and that is at home where Mike Smith is 15-8-2, covering spreads the last 3 years.
I think getting Jacquizz Rodgers back into the mix for Atlanta, he gives them an element that Michael Turner can't provide, allows them to play more up-tempo like Brian alluded to, and gives them not only a rushing threat in the backfield, but a great receiving threat to do some things in space.
All right, fellas, what do we do? New Orleans is at Green Bay, pack 7.5, total on the game at Bookmakers 53.5. We're anticipating a lot of points here. For starters, this should be a mad Packers football team and an invigorated fan base, as if they're not rowdy enough to begin with at Lambeau after the Monday night debacle.
Green Bay has had plenty of distractions to deal with from that Monday night disaster up there in the Pacific Northwest. You look at the offensive line chirping on Twitter, getting in Roger Goodell's ear, but there are bigger issues, and it's their pass protection. 8 sacks in the first half. I know they rectified that by trying to get Cedric Benson on track, but if they can't run the ball and they can't protect the quarterback, it's a good reason Green Bay's 1-2 right now.
I liked how Mike McCarthy handled the Monday night debacle. I really thought he did a great job with that. I thought it was outstanding. He sent his guys out there for the meaningless extra point. No one have any idea why they kicked that, unless it's for gambling purposes only. Love the game over, but I've got one concern is the pace of the Packers game so far this year. They're only averaging 112 plays per game in their games, while the league average is 124. Over is the thing for Mike McCarthy, 17-8 the last 3 years in home games.
This game goes over the total, and let me soothe your nerves.
Okay.
Don't worry about it. At halftime, he said, I blew it. The game's on me. I should have made the adjustment in the second quarter. He made it in the second half. What did he do? He went more up-tempo to keep the defense off of Rodgers. So look for that to happen from the get-go.
And we know the Saints are up-tempo. They're averaging 138 plays a game so far, 14 over the league average. So if you're going to get 138 plays with these two teams, passing the ball 70% of the time.
The only thing is Green Bay still hasn't shown that explosive big play potential, and it's cause for concern with a total this high. If you can't score in lightning quick time, and you're talking about long 10, 12-play drives that eat up 5 to 6 minutes, it's very difficult to go over a number this high.
Let's get to the Sunday night game. NFC East, Giants at Philly at Bookmaker. Philly's a 1.5-point favorite. Total on the game is 47.5. All right, standalone Sunday night football game. A lot of people watching the early games are going to start betting. Where does this number go? Let me ask you that.
Perception is not reality. You look at the Carolina-Giants game. Carolina was a 3-point favorite at home against the Giants. The Eagles are now only a 1.5-point favorite at home against the Giants. I don't have Carolina as a short favorite or Philadelphia on a neutral, but the public remembers what they saw last. Look for them to come in on the Giants on this game. Be interesting to see where this price ends up.
Also, the Eagles starting out 0-3 ATS is big concern for any Eagle backer. And more Giant money, I think, shows up in this contest, but we're in a dead number zone. Just pick the winner of the game.
Very quickly, I know the number stands true for Coughlin at home, but Todd mentioned familiarity. It's a division game. That's a pretty high total. I'd have a slight peek at the under in this game with some defensive intensity.
What's been interesting in this rivalry, you can't really figure out the way it's going to go. We've seen games that have eclipsed 50 to 60 points. We've seen 16-13 type grinded out games. With the number right there, Philadelphia has to convert in the red zone. They can't turn the ball over like they did against Baltimore. I know that game went over the total, but the Giants aren't going to let them go up and down the field all afternoon.
And Reed at home, 10-6 to the under in division games the last 5 years. I'm not trying to build a case for the Giants, but Tom Coughlin is well prepared on the road in division games the last 5 years, 11-5 straight up, 10-6 ATS. Andy Reid, on the other hand, I don't know how he has these numbers, 6-9 straight up, 6-9 ATS. home against division foes.
As always, great information, great NFL action. It's available to you at Bookmaker all day long. Should be another exciting weekend.